Fight Festival arc, let's go! Hiya fam, so yeah, I might be gonna follow this PNG Rindo bit right here, so bear with me for a bit, right? Anyway, second episode of the 100 Girlfriends who really love the anime. It kicks off with the start of the Food Fight Festival arc where we get to introduce, or after getting to introduce ourselves to Kurumi, we get this fun little arc, amazing arc to dive a bit more into Kurumi's character and of course for the girlfriends to also get along with Kurumi, right? So this is an entire arc dedicated to Kurumi and I have to say, pretty solid. Again, we'll get into the details a bit more, right? So let's start off with this opening scene that I really want to touch on a bit, right? Because in this shot, you can see that there's the event space, right? Which seems to be like a huge gym or whatnot. And in the back of it, you can see a glimpse of what seems to be like a track and field or some sort of, I don't know, multi-sports complex arena, right? Yeah, track and field area, right? That could be the area that's used during the Tsukisugi Sports Festival arc, right? Again, I could be wrong, but you know, it's anyone's game when it comes to the Hyakkano universe, right? So anyways, yeah, this episode really kicks off strong with an amazing explanation of the games by one of the famous, or one of the more notable side characters in the Hyakkano universe, the Bunny Idol Announcer Chan, which, goddamn, Bibury Studio, guys, fam, they've brewed nicely with this one. They really did deliver amazing service to their fans because indeed, you know, show not tell because fan service is, well, Hyakkano being Hyakkano, right? I just, everything about the explanation is done amazingly well. I just absolutely love it. And you know what, I also really want to talk about and just sing praises for the color scheme, this amazing color scheme and, you know, color of the Bunny Idol, right? Of course, under the guidance from what I've understood, under the guidance of Nozowa Sensei herself to decide the color of this particular character, right? And I think it's really great. I really love it. The whole shades of pink, touch of red and blue in her headphones, right? And just, yeah, everything about it just really screams a very similar aesthetic to that of Ako, right? Or maybe it's just me. But either way, I really love it. I really love it, you know? And you know what? Following along with that sort of bunny aesthetic, I love how in a particular scene right here and there, we get to also see a cute little, you know, bunny teeth style of, you know, drawing of teeth that's going on with her, kind of like this one, and I really love it. I really love it. It's so cute, like from her eyes, right, being fully animated, and you know, just the way that she interacts and talks, and yeah, she's a very lively character, and I'm really happy that they've, you know, brought her up and, you know, cooked her up to be animated this way, right? It's off to an amazing start already. Definitely, for sure, this episode really, you know, ups the notch when it comes to, you know, grasping the eyes of the audience already in just a few of minutes. I don't know, but for sure, I'm hooked. I'm hooked already. Now, just to give a bit of a short synopsis of this arc, right? So basically, the Renter family, right, enter this food fight eating competition tournament, right, in the hopes that Renter wanted Kurumi and the other girlfriends to bond together, right? And will they survive against the many opponents and claim the prize of the special gelato dessert, right? Well, 3-star dessert, yummy. Kurumi wants it so bad, but unfortunately she couldn't, you know, enter it unless without the guidance, or unless without the guidance of a guardian, right? In which this case, Mommy Hahari came to the rescue. Thanks, Mom. Now, I love every little moment that you would find in this episode, right? And I just want to share some of the highlights that I think really just make me laugh and just, you know, really tugs on the heartstrings as well, and to also dive into a bit more on them, right? There's this time when someone badmouthed Kurumi, right, during the qualifier round, right, that Rentaro got angry about it, right, which he did this whole threat yap stance, kind of like similar with what happened during the pool spa resort arc, right. Then when Hakari tried to hold him back, she instead just went with the flow to cling to his back even more. And then let out that Hakari. God, I don't think I can do it like that. Oh God, but yeah, my God, they really went all out with this one. This scene, I really love it. You know, they did justice to how, you know, this is definitely what Hakari would do in that sort of situation. Just, you know, just getting it on, just feeling it. And now every part of Karene's scenes whenever she comes out is also really great as well, especially when delivering those sort of quote unquote like aggressive like tones whenever she yells out, right? You know, Miyu Tomita-san is amazing at what she delivers to Karene in the table, right? Every one of her voice lines and dialogues whenever she's speaking, it's so fun, energetic, very cute as well. There's sarcasm of it all, and the tone of it delivers nicely too. That, you know, to hit the comedic mark, I would say, indeed. Now, every eating blissful face that Kurumi would make is also so goddamn cute. My god, Amane Shindo delivering that oishi or that delicious line of hers is so on point that it really brings out the feeling of, yeah, indeed, pure happiness and just surrendering to the deliciousness of a meal, right? And you know, that little bit of the sound of bites like nom 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 that she would make is also so cute. My heart, oh god, this is the beauty, one of the beauties indeed of animation, to create, or to see rather, a whole new layer and dimension to the mediums that we enjoy, right? In this case, you know, manga, with the lack of, you know, sound or movement, right? Animation really brings it all together to make it so adorable. God bless them. God. Now, hearing the voices of Kusuri, Hahari, and Shizuka, right, when they deliver the rice balls to Rentaro, again, during the qualifier round, right, it's so super heartwarming to hear, right? It's so very cute, like when Kusuri did the "Hi Nanoda" or the "Hi Rentaro-chan" from Hahari, and Shizuka's "Amochi shimashita na" or something, right? It's so cute, and they're just like simply handing him rice, right? And it's so cute of when they delivered it. It's so adorable. I love it. And man, that moment, fam, as Rentaro explains how each rice, you know, that was served by each of the girlfriends, right, the family, have like different tastes among them, right? Boy, did it sure land a critical hit to my heart. Oh my god. Again, there's also this very bitter concept, right, of how each of the girls, whatever food that they would feed Rentaro, have a different flavor, quote unquote, right? It's also kind of a bit of a spoiler, right? It's also kind of reflected as well in a return rather in that sort of the bread eating episode, right? If you know, you know, right? And by the way, the delivery of that love-struck throbbing face, right, with even more girlfriends is just chef's kiss. Oh, it's so cute. I love it. Like, I love how Rentaro would also go with the sort of whole, you know, also enjoying his food, right? Saying that it's delicious or going oishi, right? Like, he really does genuinely love the food, love the meal, right? Because the way that he would say it, right? Say these delicious lines, right? Is very similar to the feel and tone of Kurumi, in the sense that he thoroughly enjoys the food as much as Kurumi would as well. And that very detail is something that I really appreciate from Rentaro, because he really does indeed want to also share and understand as well, right? Just how beautiful and delicious, you know, genuinely eating food is, right? It's the very act of savoring the food that, you know, Rentaro and Kurumi delivers perfectly, and I really love that. Of course, you'd also have scenes between, finally, more scenes between Yukun and the Guerrilla Alliance Syndicate leader, right? This bunch is always so cute to see every time they come up on, you know, on screen, or in this case, in the Hyakkano series, on page, right? In every page that they're in. It's really cute. I love it. Especially that sort of whole Yukun blush moments, right? Very cute. And, you know, to hear more of his voice lines, it's a very nice touch. I really love it. You know, and I also really love the fact that during this ramen scene, right, with them being so, the Guerrilla Alliance boss and her gang were so hyped up to finish the ramen, then suddenly there's this cut to black transition to the sound of someone being loaded into the ambulance, and the ambulance sirens going simple. It's so simple, but I still find it to be quite funny. Alright, now to talk about the villain of this entire arc, right? This is someone who looks like he came down from the world of One Piece. Alright, I gotta properly say this right. Chanku Baku Mishiki. Oh man, okay. Right, first of all, right, okay, let's acknowledge that they've overhauled the design of this villain from the manga, right? From what was originally in the manga, of which, yeah, again, the anime has also acknowledged it, right? But you know what is actually, you know, it's actually done really beautifully well, in my opinion, right? I think that this very look of this character is very nice with the whole Yokozuna sumo wrestler look going on, right? And I also love the fact that they went with the text-to-speech style of communicating with this guy's voice. When I first heard of this, when I first came across this very arc, right, in the manga, I've always pictured his voice, matching of course with the look that he has. The voice would be so grody, very clunky, not clunky, but very, ogre-like, almost ogre-like. I don't know, sorry, no offense. But you know what? This very text-to-speech style is so good as well, in my opinion, because it's funny to hear a sort of monotonic, robotic voice that would say such, like obviously simply voice line that's been like generated by ChatGPT or something, right? And as he scurps on the food, you say, Zombun desu or something, but yeah, lines that are so monotonic, it's funny, right? It's funny, I just find it to be funny, right? Now, there's also seeing Shizuka with like the squirrel mouth, chewing tapioca balls. My heart. It's so beautiful. Nano as well, doing the whole Rapunzel bit is also really cute. I really love it. Very beautiful, and the way that Rentaro carries her down, and the way she, tries to hold on to Rentaro as much as she can as she like trembles with fear. Like, it's so cute. I love it. And you know what? During this scene as well, I also really want to point out that in the scene that Rentaro Princess carries Nano down from the stand, right? You can hear a bunch of the angry, like jealous comments from the spectators around, right? And there was one line in the last line, right? The last comment that came out, right? It was along the lines of, "I hope you explode in happiness." What really gave it to me, right, is the very tone of how he delivers it. It just cracks me up because he's saying it in a very angry tone, right? But the message and intent is really good and cute. I don't know, I just really like it. I hope you explode in happiness. Something about it just, it's funny for me. Alright, now in this scene when it was time for Karane and Kusuri to join into the fray to compete against other players in the Food Fight Festival arc, right? It is during this very challenge, right, which is to eat this whole spicy mapo tofu, right? Wowzers. Now, this entire scene, Karane was selected for this challenge because she boasted that she can handle the spice, right? It's Karane, she can handle anything, right? And Kusuri entered because she's Kusuri, right? Known for creating this wild medicinal drugs, right? So she can tolerate it, so she says, right? Now, the meal was indeed spicy, right? And all the participants had a very difficult time. And I really love how in Karane's scene, when we get to see, once again, when she tries to scarf down the spicy mapo tofu, and she, gasps for air because of how hot it is, right? We can see again, that little tsundere sprite within her mouth once again, right? That black tsundere sprite that's instead of yellow, right? From what I remembered last time, right? Yellow. It's like red. Because of how spicy it is. And that tiny detail is something that I really find to be so cute. Beyblade does not disappoint with this one. I really just love the fact that they've added that. It's a very cute addition to the entire character of, Karane, for whatever reason, right? That's so very cute. It delivers it really well. Now, anyways, at the end of all this, right, of course, the Renter family had won the competition, right? But the anime didn't show the reason as to why, right? And they gave the whole, death between cuts sort of moment, right? Because of the limited runtime, right? Now, I know that this gag, right? This cutscene gag, right, is also somewhat keen to be noticed or mentioned throughout the anime as well, right? And they've even acknowledged that, because of the very limitation of time that they had to integrate this sort of style into the direction of the episode, right? Now, while you may say, fam, that if they have time to explain about these limited runtimes, why don't they just show the actual scene itself, right? Because, again, the actual scene is going to be longer than just simply explaining it in just a few seconds, right? It's pretty simple, right? That's why. Now, I know that, again, the scene is can be a bit confusing because even in the anime they mentioned, just read the manga for more details or something along those lines, right? So your senpai here is gonna help you understand the gist of it, right? Now, Kusuri won because, well, yeah, again, she's Kusuri, right? Indeed, she's built up quite a strong stomach and tolerance to a lot of wild substances due to her experimentations of, drinking wild medicinal drugs, right? Medicinal drugs that are really wild, right? So clear win for Kusuri. For Karane though, she was able to push through with the spice. She handled the spice because Hakari and Hahari played a little smart reverse psychologying something, right? To Karane and saying, oh, you're all talking about handling that spice, right? Or something to that degree, right? And that certainly took a hit to Karane's pride. And if you know Karane, he doesn't like it when she sees Hakari being all smirky about it. So that sort of driving factor, made her one. It's just, yeah, that's basically it, right? Yeah. Now, fam, it's important to acknowledge as well that this very episode is in fact covering chapters 25 to 27. 3 whole chapters, right? So I really understand, and I can't blame them for missing out on a few details here and there, especially ones that don't really have a sort of direct or significant, quote-unquote, significant impact to the plot line that much, right? Case in point with this one, in this round, right? Because at the end of the day, it was Kusuri and Karane that won, right? And that's what's important to know, right? And in fairness as well, all of the other contestants, right? The villain, the Guerrilla Alliance, right? Gang, they also forfeited, right? So yeah, one thing that I really have to say, right, or ask rather, you guys, right, and I appreciate for you to also, if you could comment down below, right, your thoughts on this, right? The big question, my family, right, does skipping or having these sort of cuts impact the overall experience for you, right? Something to consider, because one thing I have to say is that this is, especially for our anime only watchers out there, right, they might be confused as to what they mean by the things that, when the anime tries to brush it off as, read the manga if you want to learn more, or for more details, sort of context, right, is being brought up. I don't know, right? But I mean, for me as someone who's also a veteran reader of this series, right, I already know and understand that this comedic appeal really hits the mark because it targets, my type of demographic, right? I know what happened, so yeah, this is nothing for me, at least for me. But for those who haven't watched it yet, that's a whole new story, because they'll indeed, again, there's sometimes that they'll be confused by it, right? I have to say that, right? Because, this is also another way to tell that those, anime only readers to read the manga, right? This is, if that's sort of a strategy to how the anime would try to get these anime only readers to read, right? Man, I want to say it's genius, yeah? But yeah, again, at the end of the day, I'm also very mixed with this one. I have mixed conflicts with how, this approach is. But you know what? Comment down below your thoughts on this matter, fam, right? I'm really curious to know your side of it as well. Because again, you know what? At the end of the day, I really just love and enjoy this episode. I think it, again, whether or not they did the cuts or not, right? At the end of the day, we get to see and understand how the story unfolds. And yeah, it's also pretty good in its own right? Now, for me, again, this whole episode feels very solid to cover the entirety of the Food Fight Festival arc, right? Now, going back to more of the highlights that I want to point out. Speaking of Hakuri's schemes, right? Scheming here and there, I also really love that whole, backfiring situation that when she tries to throw off the contestants during the cake round, Hakuri shot it, and then, it hit the Guerrilla Alliance that, hey, this is gonna make us fat, right? A lot of calories. It's a critical hit to girls, so yeah, hit the Guerrilla Alliance, bounce back to Hahari with a friendly fire, and then back to Hakuri once more once she also realized the gravity of what she said and what this entirety of the competition meant for someone like her. That, the risk of getting fat or whatnot, yeah. But thankfully, Karen helped out by giving them, a reason to win. For Rentaro-chan and for doing this or that, annakoto, konnakoto, or something. I'm sorry. Yeah. I love that scene as well when the Guerrilla Alliance leader came up and asked, how are you still competing, right? And Rentaro calling out that's the power of love trump card. God! Amazing! Oh my god! And then all of the girls are also backing him up as well with hearts in their eyes, like, yes, that's right! It's just, it's something that's just plain old hyped up, right? The power of love, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters, it's the key indeed to victory. It fits well with the hilariousness of this entire family and into this entire manga, right? For whatever weird reason that may come across them, at the end of the day, it's the power of love that prevails, right? And I also really really love that whole confusion look that Kurumi gave, right? Like, what the hell are these guys going on, right? It's pure gold. I love it. I also really love the fact that during the belly rubbing scene, I'm glad that they've added that little detail in Hakure's, internal desire from the extra page at the end of that chapter, right? It's so cute. Now, Rentaro family moments when they stick up for one another is always something that I love to see, right? And especially that say ah scene, man, that was delivered really well. I love it so much. And damn, Biberi, that aftermath scene with the whole villain, right? He could have changed that to another different color, right? I mean, I don't know. I mean, what do you think, fam? Now, the gelato being in different colors as well is, when they receive the prize, right? The gelatos in different colors that also kind of similarly correlate to the color scheme palettes of each of the girlfriends, right? And one thing I have to say, right, with Nano's color of gelato, right, being the sort of gray silver-ish color, right? Gray color, I guess. That is wild. I don't know what flavor it is, but I mean, efficient that if it's efficient enough that it contains all the nutrients. Could that be it? Oh my god, I just came up with that on the spot. Could that be like a reference to something that you just need to survive with all the nutrients in the human body and it comes out in that gray looking form? I don't know. Again, right? I don't know. Comment down below what sort of foods are like gray in color, right? Natural foods or whatnot. I don't know. Yeah, I can't think of anything at the top of my mind at the moment, right? Now, to finish up this entire talk, right, that very kiss scene between Rentaro and Kurumi is amazing. I really, really love it, And, I know that it doesn't have the same angle as the one with that in the manga, right? Which, if you know, you know. And I do hear some people complain about it, right? But you know what? At least they focus really well on how they kissed, right? And I really love that. Also, are you really expecting that scene to be animated? Well, in fairness, they've animated a whole lot wilder things, to be fair. That's not even in the manga. If you know, you know, fam. Anyways, that last little lick that Kurumi made after the kiss was also very cute. It's so cute. And I'm really glad that they've also included that extra page detail right at the very end of the episode, right after the end credits scene, where there was a scene when Rentaro and Kurumi were walking together, right? Kurumi spotted this sort of sign that made her crave to kiss Rentaro, right? Because whenever she thinks about that word, she thinks about Rentaro's lips, and that is very cute. And that last taberu, right, really seals the deal to this episode. Absolutely amazing. And so yeah, that's really all I want to talk about in today's video. Thank you for listening, family. Take care, and I'll see you to the next one. Subscribe for more Hyakkano, and I love you as always, fam. Mwah.